I am live. Oh my god. Let me tell you, this afro hair is not afroing. This is why you always see us uh black queens with like braids always. God, because how do you style this hair? Somebody help me. Somebody save me. Save me. Save me from myself. Save. Okay, welcome to the live, you guys. Welcome to the video, people who are watching later on after it's already premiered or already aired. Thank you so much for tuning in yet another day. We are talking about something that is so dear to me: living alone. Living alone. Okay, I kind of like put in living alone in your 20s because I'm in my 20s, but also I would like to know other people who live alone, your experiences. How does it feel? You know what I'm saying? So yes, welcome to the live. My name is Omboy. Good to see you all. Yet another good day. It's Thursday, and Thursday is almost the end of the week, so we are kind of happy for that. So let me know how you guys are doing. Thank you so much for tuning in. Yeah, let me know how was your day, how was your week, how are you feeling right now. Um, uh, I was kind of like watching something before. So hey guys, welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are talking about living alone in your 20s. Living alone in your 20s, or even living alone. You don't have to be in your 20s. I also would like to know, for people who live alone in their 30s, I would like to know what's your experiences like. So welcome to the live. So that's what you're talking about. And God, I have so many things that I want to share. Stephen Moria says hi. Hi Stephen, you came back. Welcome to the live. Kapinga, good to see you. How are you doing? Thank you for tuning in, Kapinga. How are you doing? When you join in, like the live, share the love, subscribe. Yeah, so it's yet another good day. We are talking about living alone in your 20s. I would like to know your experience. If you're in your 30s and you live alone, your 40s and you live alone, 50s and you live alone, 60s and you live alone, let us know your experiences, okay? Because personally, I'm gonna be sharing mine. Um, yeah, and I know, like, living alone for some of us who come from large families, some of us who come from families where like you are like seven of you, okay, when some of them are in school, like literally sometimes when you get that privacy, it really means a lot to you. So that's what you're talking about, living alone. Okay, living alone. So let me know your experiences. First of all, sending your greetings. Let me know where you're watching me from. When you join in, like, subscribe. My name is Wamboy. Good to see you all. So personally, maybe I can start with like a story of how I have lived over the years. Diamonds is like the live, share the love, sub the queen. Welcome to the live, Diamonds. How are you doing? How was your day? How is your day starting? Okay. So a little bit history of how I've lived over the years. So of course, I was born in a large family, so we were always a lot of us. Okay. So I went to high school. Of course, high school you are alone, but of course you have bedmates, roommates, you know what I'm saying? Stephen Moria says from Kiambu. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome. So, and then I went to campus. So when I initially went to campus, I lived alone for 1 year. Not 1 year, it was 2 semesters, but it's one academic year I lived alone. Diamond says, hi Wamboy, missed you. It's been a day. I'm good. Okay, wow. Okay, thank you for tuning in. Okay, so when I went to campus, I lived alone for one academic year. It was good partially because I was coming from chaos. Like I was coming from home, and when you're living a lot of you, it's chaos. So for a minute, I just enjoyed that time being alone, but I didn't treasure it. So the second year, I kind of like wanted to upgrade the way I was living, so I looked for a roommate so that we could have a better house. So that was it. Okay, and then fast forward, I've lived with the roommates now all through campus. So fast forward after campus. Okay, so that's what you're talking about, living alone in your 20s. I would like to know what's your experience living alone. um maybe in your 30s, in your 40s, in your 50s, even in your 60s, or some of them in your 70s. How is the experience living alone? And I would like to know, at what age did you move out? It could be moving out from your family, moving out from living with friends. So at what age did you move out? So that's the question that we're going to be starting with. So I think everyone does romanticize living alone in your 20s. The freedom, self-growth. Nobody really talks about the quiet moments, okay? So first of all, when I first moved out, and I really now started living alone officially. I've been alone most of the time, but living alone now officially, God, it just felt so quiet and so peaceful at the same time. Have you ever felt that? Clement says, hi Clement, good to see you. Welcome to the live. Where are you watching me from? Okay, so when I first moved out, it was just quiet and I loved it. God, I didn't even have a television, so I was just enjoying, like, anytime I leave, I am in the house, like, it's just quiet. Okay, I come from a home where, like, you would be sleeping and somebody's blasting music. So for the first time, I'm in the house, like, quiet. If I'm not listening to music, nobody is listening to music. If I'm not watching television, nobody is watching television. If I'm not cooking, no one is cooking. Clement says, Ghana in the building. Ghanaians, hello, how are you doing? Wow, Ghana. How is Ghana? What's the time in Ghana right now? Mm, so when I started living alone personally, the quietness, I adored the quietness. Like, it was just like, oh my God, finally I can just keep quiet and nobody is talking. I can, when I stop listening to anything, no one is listening to anything. It's 5 p.m. in Ghana. Wow. Out here it's 8 p.m. 8 p.m. I think we are like 4 hours ahead. 4 hours ahead. Wow. I think Ghana's time is the same like UK time. Okay, guys, welcome to the live. My name is Womboy. We are talking about living alone. Have you ever lived alone? Have you ever lived with people and you kind of like continuously feel unsatisfied? So when you moved out, how did that feel for you? So that's the experience that we are sharing on here. Diamond says, the number one thing I remember about living alone was going to the refrigerator and finding a soda pop. I put in there 2 days and it's still there. Wow, mine. Let me tell you, and you know, that's something that's so underrated. When you're living alone, you put this lip gloss here, you're gonna find it exactly there. Okay, when you cook some food and you're not in the mood to eat, you're not competing with anyone to eat. Literally, your food is just gonna be there. Okay, Spring Ablinger says hi to you, Spring Ablinger. Welcome to the live. Thank you for tuning in. Okay, so that was one of the other isolated, the underestimated thing, like the fact that when you live alone, wherever you put something, that's where you're gonna find it. That was another is it underrated or underestimated? Underrated. Okay, so what was another one for me? Another thing that I really enjoyed the first days that I moved out and started living alone is the fact that now I get to determine what time I wake up. I get to determine like how my day looks like. You know, sometimes when you're living with people and it's like you can never dictate how your day goes. Somebody decides to wake up at 4 a.m. and they decide to start making noise. Now you are up, okay? So for the first time, you can literally just sleep for however many hours you want to, okay? Diamond says, but the downside, I was once watching a comedy movie and about halfway, I only had my own laughter and suddenly I felt sad. Oh wow. Okay, so I was gonna start with like we have three phases when it comes to living alone. We have freedom phase, we have the growth phase, and then we have the isolation phase. Okay, so we have 3 phases, and I was gonna come to that. Like San says, welcome stream. Hello director and producer. Hello to you, San. Welcome to the live. Okay, so I think we're just gonna jump into the other phase, the isolation phase. So the first few days when you move out is like excitement, you know, you're so happy, like for the first time you're getting to do all of this alone, and you just think that you think that you won't be missing people. Let me tell you, when you move out, you're gonna be missing people. Let me tell you, that's one thing. You will enjoy your time alone, you will enjoy being alone, but the moment that you realize, like, when you're sick nobody's looking out for you, that is going to be such a reality check. Okay, like when you're sick you could even die. Nobody knows that you're sick. Nobody's out there looking for you. uh you're expecting nobody. Let me tell you, that phase is very very lonely. Yeah, you kind of jumped again. So but let's go back to the freedom phase. So living alone in your 20s really feels like stepping into your own world for the first time. So for the first time you are in your own bubble. For the first time there's no one telling you what to do, no noise, no pressure. You know, you're doing things at your own pace. uh, Jet Ski Jet Sky says, "Greetings from heaven." Wow, how is heaven? What's new there in heaven? Up there in heaven, guys. Welcome to the live. Where are you watching me from, Jet Sky? Uh, Prospects Imango says, "Hi guys." Hi, you prospects. Good to see you. Where are you watching me from? We're talking about living alone in your 20s. Have you ever lived? Do you live alone in your 20s? What was the moment like when you finally moved out, or when you finally moved out from your parents' house? And I did ask a question. At what age did you move out from maybe your parents' household? At what age did you stop living with roommates? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so at what age did you finally, you know what, I'm my own person and I'm living alone right now? I think this is a phase where we should not skip, because at the end of the day we are supposed to end up with people. We are supposed to end up with people that we love, our partners, our husbands, you know, our wives. um Jesky says, "Here in heaven, I was drinking, I was having a drink on my bed. Then by accident, I poured it on my bed. Now my bed is wet. What do I do?" Okay, they said that there will not be any beds in heaven. I don't know which type of heaven are you. Diamond says, "At what age did you?" Okay, yeah. Thank you for typing in the question. At what age did you first move out on your own? Okay, at what age did you first move out on your own? Okay, I think for me, I would say that I have moved out several times. Okay, but the time that, like, you know, I have not lived with roommates, like, I think it's now almost an year. mm, Prospects Imango says, "I'm good," and you, "I'm good. I'm good. Where are you watching me from?" Diamond says to Jessica, "You admit you peed the bed and move on with life." Okay, okay. You know, they said, like, in heaven you won't be like, you won't not will you will not be excreting when you get to heaven. I don't know which heaven are you from. Okay, which heaven are you from? So as I was talking about, when you first move out, you have the freedom phase. Like, now you're in your own bubble. You can wake up at whatever time you want. You tell yourself what you're gonna do. You decide how your day looks, what you eat, when you sleep. You know, that one thing of, like, you can finally watch a TV show the whole night. You can scroll the whole night if that's what you want, and nobody is gonna say, "Oh, can you reduce your volume? Can you do that?" For the first time. Okay, the freedom can feel powerful, especially if you've spent your whole life around people. Okay, and I think this goes so much with, like, people who are not the only children, because if you grew up as an only child, you kind of, like, crave that, like, being around people. But if you grew up with family, like with a huge number of people, then it's like, "Oh my god, I really don't want to be here." Let me keep reading. Diamond says, "If there is no beds in heaven, then where do you have sex? If there is no sex, is it really heaven?" Ah! Okay, no, I think in heaven, in heaven you're not supposed to know all of these things. Remember, the Bible tells us the reason why we do all the things that we do right now is just because Eve gave Adam the apple. Okay, so I don't know, you're not supposed to be peeing in heaven. There will not be any beds. I really don't know if people will be having sex in heaven. God, yeah, it just sounds forbidden to me. Okay, Diamond says like the live, share the love, subscribe. Hujambo from Kenya. So I think the living alone, it teaches you independence in a real way, not just financially but emotionally. You start enjoying your own company, and that's something a lot of people never learn. Like when you're living alone, you gotta start loving yourself. Like you gotta start enjoying your own company because nobody is coming. Especially like for example, like right now, I live in a place where I have not made any friends. The friend that I had, she moved away, so literally you are left by yourself, okay, in this foreign place. So if you really don't enjoy your own company, you don't find things to do by yourself, it's not gonna be working, okay? Diamond says, if there's no sex in heaven, there's going to be there's going to be a long line at Hell's Gate. Okay, can you imagine? Like they do say that, like in heaven, there is no all of those physical things. It will be happiness. You will not even be thinking about that. It will just be happiness, unending happiness. Okay. Um. So, so also we're still talking about living alone in your 20s. Have you ever lived alone, or like what was it like the first moment that you moved out from your parents' house, maybe from living with friends? So how did that feel like to you? Okay. So I think first of all, one of the hugest lessons that I learned when I started living alone is like you don't always need people around to feel okay. You have to be enjoying to be by yourself, like because the moment you cannot live by yourself, the moment you cannot enjoy your own company, then there is a problem. Okay? Then there is a whole new problem because first of all, nobody is showing up. Okay, your parents live miles away from you. Okay, Jeski says, can we just stick to the topic? Dimas is trolling. Oh, oh, Dimas, you stop trolling. Dimas. Guys, welcome to the live. My name is Wamboy. Good to see you all. Thank you for tuning in. Please consider liking and subscribing. We are talking about living alone in your 20s. What was it like the first time that you moved out, and at what age did you move out? What did it do for you, especially for people who came from like large families where like you are a lot of you guys, you know what I'm saying? So that's what you're talking about. Personally, I grew up in like a family of 5, okay? So we were like, there's always noise, okay? When you're at home, somebody's watching television, others are cooking, others are doing this and that. So it was always commotion. So when I finally moved out, I kind of enjoyed the freedom, the peace, the everything. But it didn't take long for me to realize that now I was on my own, okay? Because the other times that I've moved out and I've lived with friends, it's always like I have sisters and brothers. I have people that I can go to. I have people that I know. I have friends. But when you finally like move out, especially to a place where like you don't know people, that's when it strikes you. Okay. Jessica says, I'm in my 20 and somehow scary. The same time quite good. Okay. Have you moved out from your parents' house? Have you moved out from your friends? Let me know. Fill me in. Let me know how is your situation. Okay. I'm in my 20s and somehow scary and the same time quite good. Okay. Let me tell you, it's so scary. For me, it's so scary to be in my 20s because I'm like, this is the time that I can literally make or break my life. Like the decisions that I make right now when I'm 20, I'm 23 years old. So I feel like the decisions that I make right now when I'm 25 or 24 or 23. Those are the decisions that are gonna dictate how my life is gonna turn out. And it's literally a huge burden to have on your back. Milandre Swart says, hey Milandre, good to see you. Welcome to the live. At what age did you move out from your parents' house? When you moved out, what was that like for you? Okay. Diama says, you already mentioned it, but I love the silence. When you want action, excitement, etc, you go out and find it. But when you're ready for more peace, quiet, you just come home. I know that is really huge. And I feel like there's three phases with living alone, especially when you first finally start living alone. There's the freedom phase where, like, oh my god, finally, okay? But at that moment you're blind to all the things that you're actually setting yourself to, because the moment you start living out, now there's bills, okay? You have electricity in the house, that's a bill, okay? Water in the house, that's a bill. Rent, that's a bill. Like, there is so many bills that now you're getting yourself into starting to pay. Not to mention, like, you literally, I think during this time, so there's the other phase, there's the freedom phase, and then there's the growth phase. During the growth phase, you go through a lot, you learn how to be responsible. Now this is the time that you start learning how to manage money, because first of all, if you don't manage money, then, like, by 1 week you're surviving out of nothing, and nobody is coming to save you, nobody is bringing you nothing. Hajeski says, I have not moved out yet, and the pressure is increasing. Oh my god. How is that like for you? How does that make you feel? Do you feel like you're failing because you haven't moved out from your parents' house, or even from living with your friends? Okay, because I think I wish I made videos around that time that I was, like, moving out. Like, first of all, I have been that type of person who I avoid going home. Like, me personally, going home is usually the last option. Like, after trying out everything, going home is usually the last option. So when I finished campus, I came home for a day, and then there's a friend of mine who told me that she can host me. I come and stay with her for a minute. So I came and I stayed with her for almost 7 months. Okay, but she was just fine, because we were both benefiting in one way or another. I was doing something for her, she was giving me a place to stay. Yeah, and I avoided going home all that time. And then I was like, you know what, even if she's not saying, I might just, sometimes you host somebody and they are never moving, they are never going anywhere, and you're like, wow, can you just please move, madam? Okay, so I decided to go back home, and when I went back home, I just started having anxiety. I was like, god, at that point I was even willing to get married. Because I'm like, I just don't want to be here. It's not like, don't get me wrong, not like I dislike home, but for somebody like me, especially with a degree, there is so much pressure when it comes to especially African households. There is so much pressure. People are like, oh, now you were taken to school and just sit here and start doing farming like us and stuff like that. And the pressure is literally real. So guys, you can literally let me in on, like, how was it like for you when you first moved out? Or if you haven't moved out, how is it like for you? Let us grow here. Daima says, remember that soda pop I mentioned earlier? When you do drink it, oh my god, I'll have to call them later. So remember that soda pop I mentioned earlier? When you do drink it, it's up to you to go out and buy another. The magic refrigerator you grew up with is gone. Oh, okay. When you are at home, you actually usually don't know where your parents is, you don't usually know where your parents are getting things, okay? Oh, you wake up, there's milk. You wake up, there's some potatoes. You wake up, okay. But now here, first, when you're now living alone, when you run out of stuff, you really run out of them. Okay. Jeski says, okay, right now I'm in campus, and during school I'm staying at my bed sitter. Can we say that's somehow moving out? That's somehow moving out. But right now, when I look at it from the outside, because now I'm a graduate, I am now out of campus, I can say that's moving out because you're depending on you are literally depending on your parents. It's somewhat moving out because if you're talking about moving out, then I moved out 5 years ago, okay? But when it comes to like finally moving out after graduation, uh, okay, okay, yeah. But do you know there are people who actually move out when they are still in school? Vicky says, Wagwan, how are you doing, Vicky? I'm good. We are talking about living alone in your 20s. Living alone. Okay, I want us to be talking about living alone. Although I say living alone in your 20s because I'm 20 years old. I'm in my 20s and that's it. So, and also I'm inviting you guys to tell me if you're in your 30s, how is it like living alone? Or if you haven't moved out, why? Yeah, that's what we're talking about, living alone. Aaron Back says, super cute and teddy bear you have. I love it. And do you also have a yoga ball? I don't have a yoga ball, but thank you for the teddy bear. Okay, guys, welcome to the live. My name is Wamboy. Thank you for tuning in. Like the live, please like the live, subscribe. Aaron Back says, good evening. So let me know where you're watching me from. So we are talking about living alone in your 20s or just living alone, okay? So I'm talking about the freedom phase when you finally like, you know, like for example, today I woke up at 10 a.m. and I was like, God, if I was living at home, I would literally never wake up at 10. Because first of all, in our household, you wake up at 4 a.m. because of course a lot of duties, especially as farmers. So when one person wakes up, all of you wake up, okay? Um so these are this growth phase, okay? Living alone forces you to face yourself, your habits, your thoughts, your emotions without distractions. You start learning what you actually like, not what you've been influenced to like, okay? You start learning, oh, you know, I like this, okay, I like that. Because when you're living with people, it's like you like whatever they like because you are in their space, okay? You like whatever they like, so you heal from things you've been avoiding because you have space to think. Okay, so when you're living alone, another thing, when you have problems, you have problems. Like, there's no pretending. You're literally on that bed. No pretending. Especially, I feel like when you are around people, you have to put on a facade to convince them that you're doing fine. But when you're living alone, so that's why we are saying that, like, when you live alone, there's that growth phase. You become more responsible, paying bills, managing your time, taking care of yourself, managing your finances and stuff like that. Okay, so I have a question right here. Has living alone changed who you are as a person? Have living alone changed who you are as a person? Have living alone changed who you are as a person? Has living alone changed who you are as a person? Has living alone changed who you are as a person? So, guys, we're talking about living alone in your 20s. Thank you, Dimas. Dimas says, growing up, my parents didn't allow us children to sleep in. You had to get up by 8 a.m. Even on weekends. I remember the first time I slept in till 1, not because I was tired, but because I could. Okay? And you are like, you know, finally, like, you can literally sleep until whatever time. And also the other thing is the other way around. When you have something to do at night and you're living alone, you can literally do it without feeling like, oh God, am I waking you up? What's going on? Guys, welcome to the live. My name is Wamboy. I was born and raised in Kenya. So we're talking about living alone, okay? So share your insights. We have a question on the screen. Just answer or tell us your opinion. So like, subscribe, you know. Diamond says, has living alone changed who you are as a person? Okay, but you know what you just said about like being able to sleep in, it just hits hard because finally you can do this without feeling like you have to give permission. One of the other things that I realized when you start living alone, your parents or even your guardian, they respect you more. Like, they kind of like see, oh, you can now manage yourself, you can do this, you can do that. Because personally, like me, like my parents, when I go home, I can literally go home right now and I'm like, you know, I'm not staying. and they respect that. Initially it used to be like, oh, you can't go somewhere. First of all, like, I'm a girl, and I said, when I growing up in my household, I was the only girl, okay, in my house. So I was supposed to be home by like before 6, so maybe by 5, before 6, something of that sort. And if I anytime that I was ever late, I would find my mom and my brothers looking for me on the road. And it's like, god, I didn't get lost, but my brothers could come in anytime, 9 p.m, 10, you know. But right now, whenever I go home, even if I'm a little bit late, they are gonna be on the road. That's something that I realized haven't changed. My mom and my brothers are always gonna be on the road looking for me. But this time round, not with like, where were you? It's like, we thought we could look for you, or like we can, what is it called in English? That's when you realize it's a foreign language. Let me keep reading. Vicky says it all depends on manages his time. It all depends on how one manages his time and plans their future. Living alone can be a positive or a waste of time and experience. I know. I think most people do waste themselves when they are living alone, because for some people, like Vicky is saying, for some people, finally you start living alone, you find time for drugs, you find time for any type of prostitution that you want to do. You are sleeping with anything that's walking, during this time, this is the time that you're taking to do all the bad things that you're being banned from doing at home. So I think, wow, it can have such negatives. I think so many people ruin themselves when they live alone, especially people who come from strict households. Now it's like, for the first time, I can do drugs the whole night, I can smoke, I can go out there and be with any man that I want at night, and nobody is looking at you, nobody is seeing, and actually nobody is gonna judge you, because at the end of the day, you are an adult. So wow, good way to see it. Guys, we're talking about living alone. Let me know, what was your experience first living alone? Diama says, living alone hasn't necessarily changed me as a person. However, I've been forced to make more mature decisions. Yeah. It kind of, living alone forces you to grow up even when you're not ready. Like, you have to grow up. You grow up even when you're not ready. Yeah, that's true. So personally, how has living alone changed me? Living alone has helped me to prioritize myself. I am a type of person who puts everybody's needs ahead of mine. I'm the type of person, like, or even the setup that I grew up in, it's always about serving others, okay? It's always about, oh, what can I do for so and so, what can I do for so and so. But living alone, it's given me that time to think about, I kind of needed to do my nails, okay? I kind of needed to do my hair. And you know what? I kind of needed to cook. I kind of needed, like, living alone for me, it's given me that time to, like, literally think about myself. Because when I'm around people, it's always about the other people. Especially if you are somebody who, like, prioritizes other people. So it's always about other people's problem. But when you're finally living alone, it's like, now you can put their problems over there and deal with yours. Okay, so that's how. Let me know. We have a question right here that's been, has living alone changed who you are as a person? Okay. So the other phase, there is 3 phases: freedom phase, growth phase, where you learn yourself, the bills, taking care of yourself, all those things. And then the other one is isolation phase. But before that, let me keep reading your comments. Guys, if you're just joining in, like the live, share the love, subscribe. Dema says, wow, I feel busted. Growing up, my dad drank, but alcohol wasn't kept in the house. Since being on my own, I've always kept alcohol in the house, and I really don't drink. Wow. Okay, let me read that for Nancy at the back. I feel busted. Growing up, my dad drank, but alcohol wasn't kept in the house. Since being on my own, I've always kept alcohol in the house, and I really don't drink. Why? Just so that, like, you can feel okay. But I know what you're trying to do. It's like, finally, I can have alcohol in the house and nobody's gonna be shouting. Okay? Wow, good for you. You know, I think me personally, I did most of these things when I was in campus. Like being out at night was one. Okay, because me personally, as I told you guys, whenever I would never just be out, okay, because it's going to be everybody is going to be on the road looking for me, and that would make me really uncomfortable. So I always used to be home early. So when I finally moved out, especially in campus, okay, that's not moving out, it's like going to school. But for the first time, I could be outside at night, and I was like, woo! uh, okay, just because you can, okay, just because you can. Guys, we're talking about living alone in your 20s. Let me know, has living alone changed who you are as a person? Okay, and also more Eddie 6930 says, hello beautiful, how are you doing today? I'm doing great. How are you? Where are you watching me from? Welcome to the live. Guys, welcome to the live. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like the live, share the love, subscribe. Wow, Dimas. Oh, did Mo say hi to you specifically? I'm fine, thank you. I think you're answering for me. More says, we are, where are you from where are you from? I'm from Florida. Do you have a man? I'm from Kenya and I'm engaged. Okay. Okay, but welcome to the live. Like, subscribe, feel welcome on here. Yes. So we are talking about living alone. Okay, living alone. When do you start living alone? So the other phase is the isolation phase. So silence starts to feel heavy. You come home and there's no one to talk to, no one asking how your day was. At first it feels peaceful. Over time it starts feeling lonely. You get used to being alone to the point where letting people in starts to feel uncomfortable. I think that's the phase that I'm at right now. Okay, I enjoyed the first 4 months. God, the first 4 months when I lived alone, and I was just like, this is it. Right now I'm actually thinking about moving back to my hometown. Like, I'm thinking about moving there, still living on my own, but uh still living on my own, but at least having, like, my family can pop in whenever they want to. I can go home whenever I want to. Okay, so I think that's the phase that I'm in. I don't know, but you know what, anytime that, like, I'm here, I'm like, I'm feeling the loneliness. I'm feeling like, you know what, I really don't want to be alone. I don't want to be by myself right now. And then I'm like, you know what, let me go home. Okay, and then I end up like, oh my god, I just miss that solitude. So I think it's a double-edged sword. Okay, this I don't know, there's no safer side. Like, if you choose to to live alone or to be alone, then you're alone. Okay, you choose to be around people, then you're around people. Like, it is what it is. Okay. So, and then there's the other thing about the way social media makes it. Have you ever been scrolling and you're just seeing people with candles, uh, all this romanticizing living alone, and you just think that's how it's supposed to be, and you're like, what type of living alone am I doing? So social media makes it look like living alone is always peaceful. In reality, it's a mix of everything. Yeah, it's literally a mix of everything. The good, the bad, the ugly. Okay? So nobody should fool you that it's like, oh, I moved. Because me personally, I think I was scrolling and I was seeing people who are saying, just move out. All your problems are going to end when you move out. God, do they? They kind of do, because first of all, some of the problems end, especially external problems that is not you. Those small arguments with people, conflicts, feeling like you're on people's space, you don't feel that anymore, because now you're in a place where it's your own space. Okay. So I do have another question. Do you think you can truly grow when you are always around people? Do you think you can truly grow when you are always around people? Do you think you can truly grow when you are always around people? Diamond says, I've always been more of an introvert, but I still had a social life. where I where are now after years of being alone. uh I've been more antisocial, less trusting of people. Okay, I think because I think you tried that, like being alone. Whenever you start living alone, now you can't trust people anymore. Like, no, you can trust people, but the moment you go into isolation, living alone, it can become chronic. Okay, it can become chronic. I think even personally, I think I'm at a very concerning stage right now. I literally need to be traveling to be with people because I've refused to make friends where I'm at. Like, my partner keep telling me like you can go and make friends, but I just don't feel like making friends. That's one thing. I just Whenever I'm inside, I sometimes I'm complaining. I'm like, I just feel so alone. I just need to breathe. And whenever I'm out there, I'm not making any friends. I just go out there, do my business. I can say hello. I'm a kind person. I laugh with people out there. But whenever I come back home, I don't have their contact. I am not gonna be talking to them, and that's it. I think it can get to a very chronic place. Like if you, yeah, yeah. So how does being antisocial affect you negatively? Like you don't want people around you, like literally. Is it an insecurity? Is being antisocial an insecurity? What is it called? Insecurity. Is it an insecurity that we kind of develop by when we finally live alone for a long time? So is this antisocialness something that we develop? Does it come out of insecurity? Does it come out of like what causes that? What causes that? Because growing up, my parents, or maybe because if you have children, I think you kind of like have to be a social person. Because I'm thinking about it like my mom. Okay, when she got married, she came straight from her parents' house to my father's house. Okay, and that's it. And then within 1 year, there was children. Like, this person have never been alone. Okay, because and actually that was actually my next point. I think everybody deserves to kind of like live life alone for a minute, because I think you only get that phase once. When you finally start living with people, you get married, you give birth to a few friends. Then it's like you can never go back from that. Okay, guys, welcome to the live. My name is Omboy. We have a question on the screen. Do you think you can truly grow when you're always around people? Do you think you can truly grow when you're always around people? I think you can, but your growth will be influenced by people. Let me tell you something that have actually in real life, something that have happened to me when I moved out. When I came on here when I came on here and started living alone, I wasn't doing YouTube. Okay, I wasn't doing YouTube. But when I came here and nobody was influencing the way I'm thinking, whenever I decide, whenever I think about something, like a thought, a creative idea, something that I can do, nobody is telling me like you cannot do that. I don't have a lot of discouragers, people telling me you can't accomplish this, you can't accomplish that. That's one plus that I've experienced, like by being alone. Like this YouTube thing, I just started like a joke. I was like, maybe I can be putting out videos. And I just started. I posted 3 views and I was just fine. I'm like, wow, 3 views. And I was celebrating. And I know I have not gotten there. I'm actually not even halfway there. But that's one of the other things. Because if I was around people, I would be like, how? They will judge me like I'm not getting views. What about that? Another thing that I've done when I'm living alone, starting going live. Okay, it was just an impromptu idea. I was like, I can start going live instead of wasting time scrolling. I can start going live and being creative. Okay, and because nobody told me no, and I didn't tell the idea to people to tell me no, I just found myself doing it. And from that day on, I've always shown up every day, Monday through Thursday, that specific time, 5 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. So the question is, do you think you can truly grow when you're always around people? Honestly, I don't think you can always grow when you're around people, because they will always tell you no. And that's a problem. Okay, you don't want people who are planting seeds of doubt in yourself. you don't want to have opinions from people who don't believe in themselves. So if they don't believe in themselves, how would they believe in you? Okay, so and there's so many other things that maybe I can share on here that I've been doing, like even in terms of like maybe this is not working, this career is not working, what else can I do? Things like that. You just don't do that around people because they are planting seeds of doubt. Okay, so right now what I do, I actually don't tell people what I'm doing because I have the privilege of being away from them, and I just do whatever I want. Okay, so do you think you can truly grow when you're always around people? Personally, I cannot, because whenever I tell people my ideas and they discourage me, or they tell me, oh, maybe you can't do that, you can't accomplish that, I get discouraged when people say stuff like that. So the answer to the question, as a person, is Wamboi, I don't think I can grow when I'm always around people. I just need some time alone. I need time to, you know, because when I'm alone, I have that naiveness, I have that thought, like I can do this, and boom, I'm doing it. Concrete, hi. Hi, Concrete, where are you watching me from? Welcome to the live. Guys, when you tune in, like, subscribe. My name is Wambo. We are talking about living alone in your 20s. Living alone in your 20s. And I would like to know, if you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, let me know, what is it like living alone for you? And especially for people in their 30s and 40s, because you're actually expected to be married, you're expected to be living with somebody. So how is it like for you? Okay, Diamond says you make a great, oh wow, there's a lot, guys. Diamond says, I feel antisocial behavior stems from seeing life with and without a social group. You see the decrease in drama that others bring into your life, then suddenly you prefer it. Okay, because now you've seen the other side of it, is like when you don't have all these people, they are good. See, then the amount of time that you need company is like maybe twice a week. That's those are the times where you're feeling down, you feel like you literally need people around you, but most of the time you actually don't need them. Okay, so when you finally realize, I actually do better without these people. Like, their drama is too much. Okay, but me personally, I have a problem. Even when I'm away, I always listen to people's problem, and that's a problem for me, and I take it to heart. Diamond says, you make a great point. However, I feel being around people gives you different perspective, which creates growth, versus only seeing your one perspective in life. And that's the purpose of social media right now. Okay, I can, right now, through social media, I can see so many people's mindset, or I can see, oh, this person is the. I have applied so many things that I've seen from people from social media. Even though right now I'm trying not to be scrolling all the time. Yeah, I think right now, and also you can ask ChatGPT what they think, Google what they think. But you also make sense. Being around people, it makes you grow. It makes you grow. But let me tell you, especially when it comes to ideas, if you want to start something, just do it by yourself. When you tell people your ideas, they're just going to plant the seed of doubt, because first of all, they can't see themselves doing it. Why would they believe that you can do it? Okay, so like the live, share the love, sub the queen, Hujambo from Kenya. So another question was, what's the hardest part about coming home to an empty house? What's the hardest part about coming home to an empty house? Not literally empty with no furniture, but with no any human being waiting for you. What's the hardest part about coming home to an empty house? What's the hardest part about coming home to an empty house? Guys, welcome to the live. My name is Wamboy. Good to see you all. Like the live, share the love, subscribe. We normally go live every day, Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. So you can always be looking for me at that hour. We normally have topics every single day. Like, we have a different topic. So even if today you don't appreciate the topic that we are having today, tomorrow you might have another one that you appreciate. Okay. Diamond says, what's the hardest part of coming home to an empty house? What's the hardest part about coming home to an empty house? I think I never okay. The hardest part. The hardest part is, like, sometimes you just need to come home and get a hug. Like, you just need a hug. Sometimes you just need a hug. Sometimes you just need that human presence, not through the phone. not through anything that human presence. But personally, I just don't crave random people around me. Okay, do I crave family? Yes, but the type of person that I crave for right now is like a partner, like somebody who can literally hold me. You missed all the answers. Oh, oh, Vicky, yours haven't been coming through. I didn't miss them. Oh, can somebody confirm? Diamonds, can you see Vicky's comments from your side? Oh, wow, that's so unfortunate. This YouTube need to grow up. God. Okay. Guys, welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. God, Vicky's, your comments haven't been coming through. Um, what's the hardest part of coming to an empty house? Oh, Dimas, can you please confirm if like you can see Vicky's comment on your side? Because for me, I am looking at the laptop, I'm looking at the phone, nothing. No, nothing has come out. Yeah, nothing has come out. Can you please try see if you can type again? Oh, I know that's exhausting. I am so sorry. Diamond says the hardest part of coming to home to an empty house is when you have something to celebrate or in need of consolement and having no one. Yes, what you just said, need a hug. Okay, yeah. You know, sometimes you walk into an empty house and you're like, God, I just need a hug. Okay, I just need a hug. Like I need a hug. So I was saying the type of people that I need to be living with right now. It's not like I am craving living with like parents or siblings. I am just craving living with like a partner. uh because even if you're living with your brother or your sister, is like, hi, how are you, and that's it. Okay, their presence matters, but I just want to be cuddled. Like I want to be living with somebody who can cuddle me, like we can just cough, stuff like that. Whenever I feel like crying, I can just have a shoulder to lean on and cry. Dema says, I was actually surprised that I thought you left so quickly. Okay. Me too. I was like, okay, maybe today's topic is not for you, but wow, sorry, your comments didn't come through. Okay, so wow, what's the hardest part about coming? Hopefully, if you answer this one, maybe it will come through. So the last question mostly, would you give up your freedom to live with someone? Would you give up your freedom to live with someone? And also, okay, before that, does living alone get old? Okay, it's okay, you're living alone, you're in your 20s, you're in your 30s. Does it get old? Does it get to a point where like you literally need to be living with people, like you need somebody to live with? So in your opinion, does living a okay, I know these are two questions at the same time, but okay, let's first of all deal with the one on the screen. Oh god. Would you give up your freedom to live with someone? Would you give up your freedom to live with someone? Guys, remember you're talking about living alone in your 20s. Living alone in your 20s, that's what we are talking about. Would you give up your freedom to live with someone? Wow, Tony, welcome to the live. How are you doing? Tony says, I never lived alone, so I don't know how it feels. Wow, why? Like, are you not, don't you feel like, okay. Tony says, rent in Ontario is absolutely crazy. Okay, oh, so you literally have to have a roommate or something? Do you have to have a roommate? When I was in campus, I hope my roommate never watches. Okay, when I was in campus, I was living it. So when we got there, my dad took me to school. Okay, so he made sure that we looked for a house, a cheap one. Okay, it was cheap one. I was literally living outside in that house. Okay, so I lived there for one academic year, which is literally 2 semesters, not like a whole year, but one academic year. And then I was like, I literally need to upgrade. So then I must ask Tony, Ontario, Canada, or California. I think Tony is from Canada. I don't forget people's details. I think Canada. Maybe confirm. Okay, yeah, Canada. Okay. So when I first started, okay, I was in campus. So my dad make sure we looked for this cheap house, okay, like, but for me it just felt like I was living outside. And not to mention, you kind of like what after class you want to be bringing friends over to your place. I was always ashamed of that place. So what happened for the next academic year, there's a friend of, not a friend, it was a mutual friend. She a friend of, she knew somebody who knew me, like that's how we connected, okay. So and then I at some point we were sitting down because I was working somewhere. So she came on there to hang out, and we were like, okay, because I'm not living in a good place, and also you're not living in a good place. Why don't we just move in together and like upgrade? So we looked for a better house, and we moved in together. Okay, we lived for I think 2 years together. But by the time we were separating or starting to live separately, like the moment we walked away from each other, we were almost killing each other in that house. God, nothing was working out. When it comes to using the bathroom, nothing was working out. When it comes to the kitchen, we were always arguing about the bill, who buys what in the household. And in the beginning, it was just perfectly fine. First of all, I used to work. So which means I would leave by 7 a.m. in the morning. I was always out of the house. By 8 p.m. I'm back. So which means the whole day she has the house to herself. So it's like she was living alone. So finally I stopped working, and now we were always in the house together. So maybe that's what went wrong. But my experience with that roommate, God, made me dislike ever living with people, especially strangers. Okay, Dema says, I'm not surprised. Canada rocks, but it's not cheap. Okay, Canada is my dream country, or like, I just feel like Canada is just nice. Like, it's like a calm USA. Okay, a calm down USA. Wow. So like, do you end up just living alone? I don't know in that situation. So what do you do if the rent is so high? It's like you literally cannot afford. Do you just end up just staying at home, or maybe roommates? What happens when that happens? Okay. Wow. And let me tell you, out here, it depends with where you want to live. For example, out here you can even have a house for like $20. Like $20 a full house. Okay? $70 a good house. Not like good, like top tier, but a house that is a house, a good bed sitter for $70. Okay, but if you want to live high end in Nairobi, you can have for $700, $800, $900. Okay, so what is high for you, Tony? Like, what's high? How much does a studio go for in Canada? Diamond says, what I like most about Canada is all the jokes people make about Canada is how nice they are. Okay, it just like people, it just feels like people are just nice in Canada. I would like to know maybe how much is a studio apartment in Canada, maybe, because like out here studio ranges from like $50 to between 50 and 150 for a really high end. Diamond says, what? Okay, guys, welcome to the live. My name is Omboy. Good to see you all. So consider liking and subscribing. We've been talking about living alone in your 20s. Living alone in your 20s. So did Vicky give up typing again? James Parr says hi. Hi James, good to see you. Welcome to the live. Where are you watching me from? Tony says Canadian people are more cordial. I'll say that, but I think most people overrate the reality in Canada. I know, like all of our, yeah, like I do know we overrate. I do know we because nobody talks bad things about Canada. You'll hear bad things about USA, crime, stuff like that, but you'll never hear anything bad when it comes to Canada. uh, Tony says a studio in Canada, in Ontario, is around 1300 Canadian dollars or US dollars, although it's around the same. Wow. Diana says in Chicago, a studio goes for $1,500 to $1,800. Wow. Ooh. Okay, those are huge numbers. Like, where do you even save anything at the end of the day? It's kind of like you work for the rent. Okay, but I am pretty sure the wages or the minimum wage out there is corresponds with like whatever, because out here you can't charge people. Out here, the reason why we even have single rooms for $20 is like people are making the minimum wage here. We actually do we even have a minimum wage here? Like, okay, so the prices have to correspond with like the economy. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But we also get paid more. That's it. That's it. So because you can, and that's the problem with Nairobi right now. Okay, we have a lot of foreigners moving in, and the developers or people who build, they're increasing the price because this is what people are willing to pay, and it's literally so unfair because at the end of the day, the locals are not making that money. Okay, people who are moving here, who are foreigners, they move in with money from these developed countries. So it's really unfair the way the price of things are going up just because some people are moving in here. Tony says, going to school and working will not permit a single living lifestyle. Going to school and working will not permit a single living lifestyle. Okay, wow. Okay, because you still go to school. Okay, wow. I think over there, minimum wage here is $16 per hour. Okay, wow. Okay, but that makes sense. That makes sense. If you overwork yourself for a week, you can afford that. But wow, the cost of living out there. That's why I see people working like 3 or 4 jobs. And I'm like, here is just so uncommon. So uncommon. Maybe because most of us live in our own lands. So it's like we are not paying for anything. Like in our farm at home, we don't pay for anything. We don't know what rent is in that farm. Like everything is free. We are not pay, and also we don't pay, what is it called, tax. We don't even pay tax on that land. So there's that. Okay. So if you're given a situation, would you move somewhere else apart from Canada, Tony? Because all of us are fantasizing about Canada. Okay, if given a chance, would you move to another place? Guys, welcome to the live. My name is Wamboy. We are talking about living alone. It doesn't have to be in your 20s, but we are talking about in your 20s because I'm 23. Okay, I think, and I think that's one of the reasons why people just choose to get married sometimes, because I think life is so difficult right now. That you're just like, you know what? I am just done with this struggle. I am literally not going to be struggling here, and you just decide to get married to somebody who have things figured out. Tony says most people under 24 still live with their parents because there is a quite recession. So that's the current reality. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, but you know what? I think the conditions or the circumstances out there, and I feel like parents out there are nicer. God, you live with an African parent. Here is just like, okay, I'm not saying that African parents are bad, but like, we are not peaceful. I don't know if it's African or black people. It's like, it's not peaceful. Like, we just have this need to like shout, this need to like listen to music at 100, Chal Kim says, how are you? I'm good. How are you doing? Where are you watching me from? Oh, wow. Deep, as soon as I graduate, if there's opportunity. Okay. So now the problem is if you move from Canada to somewhere like US or like UK, the problem is still the same. Like the cost of living is just high there, although the opportunities are same. Because first of all, you have to know that like if you move to like a third world country, the opportunities, if you come with the finances, okay, welcome to the young club. If you move to, let's say you decide, you know, the cost of living in this country is so high, let me move to a third world country with the money that I have. If you have the money that can last you for a lifetime, then that's okay. But if you're moving there to figure out stuff, you're going to be so disappointed. First of all, you can always pick yourself up when you're in a first world country. There's so many opportunities. Okay, so when you move to a third world country, especially with no enough finances, you might end up regretting. Okay, uh Spose until says opportunities are much easier there than Kenya. I know. That's what I'm saying. I know. Like, you know, some people think like maybe moving abroad is like easy. It's not easy. Tony says deep is equals to live. Okay. Okay. Davis doesn't know. I think Davis is in his 50s or 40s. Okay, isn't it funny that like millennials and baby boomers, right now we can speak and you guys can't understand? Wow, Dan youngings. Okay, we are the what did I want to say? The word disappeared. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, I think right now that's why I am seeing so many young men deciding to look for sugar mummies. Yeah, and also I don't know, but there's such a double standard when it comes to like relationships. Women, we are doing the same thing. Like sometimes you'll be like, okay, you're even with somebody, a married man, not for anything else, but you're like, you know, the cost of living is too high up there. Let me just look for somebody for comfort. But I see why right now even it's so difficult for men to get married, because the cost of living. Because back in the day, I think back in the day our parents had better opportunities to like succeed. Right now we still have opportunities, but it's like they are this narrow. Okay, guys, welcome to the live. You're talking about living alone in your 20s. So is there something that like okay, for the people who haven't moved out or have never lived alone, is there something that like you're looking forward to when you finally live alone? For people who have not moved out, or like for people who are like, you know, I'll move out one day, or like one day I'll stay, I'll live alone, is there something that you're looking forward to? Because I think before I started living alone, I was just looking forward to, you know, I actually didn't even want to have anything in that house. I just wanted to be in an empty space alone for a minute. Okay, so is there something that you look for? But I think if you come from a peaceful household, then you don't feel the need or the rush to move out. But if you come from Vietnam, if your household is like Vietnam or Iran in terms of like chaos, okay, then you have this urge to immediately move out. Otherwise you're going to not enjoy yourself. Okay, so and also I would like maybe to ask, do you think like you can make it in your hometown? Can you make it in your hometown? Do you have to move away from your hometown to make it? In your thoughts or in your opinions, okay? So so according to me, especially sharing my experience with, like, I have lived alone for 1 year now. I think I'm about to clock 1 year next April, which is in few days, okay? So I have seen three phases. I had the freedom phase, the growth phase, and now right now I'm in the isolation phase where like nothing is working out. I just want to move. I just want to move back to my hometown. Like, it's just so lonely out here. It just feels like I'm alone, you know. So I think there's those three stages. If you have something to add on, you can literally tell me. Okay. Ooh. Wow. David John says hello. Hello, John. How are you doing? Welcome to the live. Thank you for tuning in. Where are you watching me from? I'm David. Okay. My name is Omboy. Where are you watching me from? And we are talking about living alone in your 20s. So, what's watching from Tanzania? Okay. Wow. Sorry, I'm sorry, but like, well, I thought Tanzanians don't speak English. So, but sorry, it's my ignorance. Okay. Welcome to the live. Thank you for tuning in. Diamond says, I'm not sure I agree. I grew up in a basically peaceful household, but I still couldn't wait to get out on my own. Of course, if I knew then what I know now, I would have been in such a rush. Why would you have been? What do you know now? What do you know now that would have made you to be in such a rush? Okay. I grew up in a basically peaceful household. You know, me, I can only know what I know, but okay, it's not like I come from chaos, but it's not always peaceful. And you know, it's not even always about the peace. It's not always about, not like we are fighting, but it's like the constant yelling. And then the other thing that makes me dislike so much staying with people, for example, when it's time to cook, we are sitting there looking at each other like, oh, I'm so hungry. We're just sitting there. I am looking at my mom like I'm hungry. She's looking at me. I'm hungry. I'm looking at my brother. Yo, I'm hungry. Okay. If it's when it comes to dishes, we are looking at each other like nothing gets done because we are just a lot of us. Okay. So yeah, that's one thing that I actually don't miss them. The constant like, oh, like nobody wants to do anything. Okay. David John watching from Tanzania. I hope I didn't turn you off by saying that I thought Tanzanians didn't speak English. Okay, because okay, I know for Tanzania, English is the Swahili is the official language. Tony says, honestly, I would love to live alone, but currently it would not be beneficial financially. Okay, so you're not looking forward. Wow. Diana says, food cost money, electricity cost money, taxes you have to pay. When things break, you are responsible for getting it fixed. You have to get a job. Shall I continue? Yeah, continue. Okay. Mm-hmm. Malek Adek Odinga. Oh, you came back. You know, I normally remember the regulars. Great locked. Thank you so much. Welcome to the live. Guys, when you join in, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. And also, you know what, you guys, thank you for your support. God, when I started doing this YouTube, it was just a random idea. I was like, you know what, let me just do this. Okay, because at the end of the day, you gotta put yourself out there. You gotta maybe give yourself an opportunity to have chances. Okay, and I think I'm gonna go live for 48 hours next week, one of the days, but I don't know when. But next week, lock in. Okay, and during that live, we just basically for those who are there during my 24 hours, so what happened, but it's just like I just show you normal life, like the things that I do during the day, you know, because I need to like reach people from different time zones, because at the end of the day we are talking about moving out and living alone. At the end of the day, you have needs and stuff, and it's like, you know, I'm actually, you know, I have actually been trying this. I had this idea when I was in school. I had this idea and I knew the moment I graduate, jobs are gonna be looking for me. I thought that I would never be looking for jobs, but after I graduated, then I realized, wow, it's not that easy. Like, we are not finding jobs. So for me, that was a humbling experience, and that's why I decided, you know what, let me just go on and do this. And that's why actually I don't encourage discourages around me. Like, I just do things because I think, because right now I'm thinking about going 48 hours live. Do I know what will happen? But no. But will I do it? Yes, I will. Because at the end of the day, yeah, maybe it's just good to give yourself chances. Emma says, you are responsible for going to sleep at a decent hour, for getting up on time, for getting yourself to work, for your transportation, for your medical needs. You even have to entertain yourself. Okay? Yeah, especially the entertaining yourself. God, the fact that you just get bored out of nowhere. Yeah. Okay? It is just, I know it's just a lot living alone, but at the end of the day, because I know we are not gonna be living alone forever, okay? For the gentlemen, you will get married. For the women, you will get married, maybe, if you want to, okay? It's not a must, sorry. I don't want you guys to be saying, oh, right now is anti-marriage or whatever. Okay, but whatever happens, most of us will end up in marriages, and we will have to let go of our, what is it called, solitude. We will have to let go of the time that we were spending alone. We will have to let somebody in. You will have to learn how to live with them, with their snoring, with their coughing, you'll have to learn how to live with your wife hair strands everywhere. You'll have to learn how to and like entertain each other, how to be with each other even when you're upset with each other. So at the end of the day, do I think it's worth it living alone? Absolutely. Do I think if I wouldn't say it's the easiest. It's not easy because now you're completely responsible for yourself. Okay. um Diamond says the bright side of living alone for a man is he will one day get married. The bright side of living alone for a woman is living alone. Oh, okay. Okay, but yeah. Not you get married and then you start living with somebody and then I've been watching these videos on Instagram how men behave, especially men after their 40s, like all these sounds and then the constant farting. And I've been sending my fiance those videos, not because I think it's him, but it's like but it's like, that's some of the things that you have to let go. Okay, that's some of the things that you have to let go, like now you have somebody there who is constantly farting, like constantly coughing for absolutely no reason. But let me know, why do men like clearing their throat, like okay, like it's just like, can you not clear your throat, like, stop that, clearing your throat constantly. You can just be civil about it, like yeah, like why are men like that, like like, and then I don't know if you guys have seen those videos. Tell me your Instagrams. I'm gonna be sending you those videos when I see them. Diamond says, you said something the other day that still makes me laugh. You said it smells like men in here. Okay, it smells like men in here. Okay, it's like for absolutely no reason. Why? Can you just be civil? Like, you need to cough. Stop being like oh, what is wrong with you? That's one of the things that I'm not looking forward when I live with a man. Tony says my dad always does that. Okay, and also sometimes sneezing is like okay, when it comes to like sometimes for the dads it's like okay, and I'm not saying like that. I'm saying something that I've observed with men. It's not so uncommon for a man to be like, okay, he's trying to get rid of mucus, and he's like, oh, he's like, get yourself a handkerchief. God, men are gross. Okay, you guys are not gross. I admit to nothing. Oh, that exactly says you admit. Guys, welcome to the live. My name is Omboy. We are talking about living alone. Yeah, people are gross, okay? People are literally gross. And Tony, you're saying that your dad always does that. Let me tell you, wait until okay, you are a man. I wanted to say, wait until you have a husband and you have to share a bed. God, it started on a serious note. Now I'm just here laughing. Oh, okay. Let's see. what have you learned about it? Diamond says, hey, don't judge. You don't know what Tony likes. No, okay, no comment, no comment. Yeah, God, I think we have explored all the questions. Oh, wow. And you know, I had more questions, but I was like, oh, we will not get through all of those. Okay, but you know what, guys, welcome to the live. We've been talking about living alone in your 20s. So do you feel like living alone leads to a season of growth or a phase of isolation? So in conclusion, do you think living alone leads to a season of growth or phase of isolation? uh, a season of growth or phase of isolation? That was part of the question on my title. A season, is it living alone in your 20s? Is it a season of growth or a phase of isolation? I don't know if Dimas can type that for me. Living alone in your 20s, is it a season of growth or a phase of isolation? So I think Tony says, excuse me, I like women point blank. Okay, I knew I knew you liked women. But wow, that was the audacity of this man. Oh. Do you think living alone leads to a season of growth or phase of isolation? Tony, thank you. I was getting nervous that I overstepped. Oh, okay. I think Tony knows how to joke. You know, some of us who English is not our first language, it's like you have to be real careful when you say stuff, because it doesn't. We process it in our mother tongue and then translate to what you say. You know, you understand. Like, I think for people who English is like their first language, they understand jokes or stuff. Or I understand jokes, but maybe when they are said in my mother tongue. Oh, I do. Let me just stop. Okay. Do you think living alone leads to a season of growth or phase of isolation, in your opinion? So I think it depends. It depends. You can take the alone time. You can make your house to be like a math lab. You can start doing stuff. You know, I think it depends with what you set your mind on. If you are somebody who is literally focused, you can achieve so much when you live alone. Uh, because for the first time that like you're doing this without the noise of the outside, and the only noise that you get is the one that you let in. Okay, the only noise that you get is the one that you let in. So there is that. uh so let me wait for your responses, even though Tony said he's never lived alone. So let me wait to see. We're actually winding up. Okay. Okay, you know what, Diamonds? Maybe you guys can tell us what's the grossest thing about living with women. What is the grossest? Okay, it's not like literally a little question, because I've talked about the gross thing about living with men, or like how men are. What is the grossest thing about living with a woman? Diamond says, I think it's case by case. I love living alone. I look forward to living with a woman I'm in love with. But until then, I'm loving living alone. Oh, good for you. Wow. Okay, guys, welcome to the live. When you join in, like the live, share the live, subscribe. Okay, so what's the grossest, the last one, okay? What's the grossest part about uh, living with a woman? It doesn't have to be necessarily living. If you've ever spent time with a lady, what's one of the grossest thing that we do that is literally annoying to you? What's one of the gross things that women do that's literally annoying? Let me tell you, one of the things that I have a problem with is like, I don't know, when I start to finally like live with somebody officially, it will be a problem for me to like, I kind of like privacy when it comes to like things like can I maybe periods, you see, like I just want to be changing alone or stuff like that. And I know you can change alone when you're in a relationship, but at the same time I think some of those things, especially when it comes to things like period, it can make a man feel like, oh, you're just gross or stuff like that. I don't know. Maybe it's just my perspective. Dema says, honestly, and I know this will sound liking. I'm just kissing up. Like, oh, it sound like I'm just kissing up. But there is nothing gross about a woman you love. Literally, everything about her is just so sexy. Okay. Oh my God. Your woman is so lucky to have you because you see that. Let me tell you, there are men who just think that like even the natural things like periods, they are literally gross. Wow. Okay, but Neo Muhuza Samuel says hi. Hi Neo Muhuza. Wow, you came back. You came back. I'm finally getting like people coming back, and that's how I know that I'm doing a good job. Thank you for coming back. How are you doing? We have been talking about living alone with your 20s. Have you ever lived alone, or do you live alone? Do you remember the moment that you moved out? Neo Musa says, good evening from Rwanda. Okay, thank you so much for tuning in. Good evening to you. How are you doing? Okay, guys, and during the day, whenever you're idle, even if you're not interested to watch, just turn on my video to give me some watch hours. Like, okay, because I believe you're gonna get to 1,000, but the watch hours, you're not gonna get there. Anyways, we I Emma says, like the live, share the loves of the queen. Good peace. Amahoro neza. What does that mean? Amahoro neza. Is it English? Good peace. The font translated to good peace. Amahoro neza. Is it Rwandese? Okay, guys, welcome to the live. My name is Wamboy. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you just tuned in, can I get a like and a subscribe? Can we just lock in? Okay, can we just lock in? We've been talking about living alone and we're actually winding up. But I'm just asking Tony, what does amahoro neza mean? Oh, did you type good peace? Because my phone is saying good peace, the laptop is saying amahoro. Amahoro neza. Wow. Languages. Okay, so we are winding up. I don't know if, okay, oh, maybe the laptop is just being weird. Amahoro neza. What does that mean? Good peace? Okay. Anyway, let me keep moving. So you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Let me tell you, it was so fun. I thought like, Tony says, I'm originally from Burundi, where and Burundi and Were, the same people and speak damn near the same language. Oh, wow. Okay, because the font translated to good peace. Okay. Oh, wow. So is it the same language? Is it the same language? So do Rwandese people and Burundi speak the same language? Do Rwandese people and Burundi people speak the same language? Wow, amahoro mean peace. Okay, I should write now. Somebody said dagokunda the other day. Dagokunda. Oh, maybe I forgot. Dagokunda meaning I love you. Okay. What did I ask? Is Rwandese and Burundi, do Rwanda and Burundi speak the same language? Burundi and where? God, when it comes to like slightly different words, but mostly the same. Wow, God. So you guys can communicate. Okay? When it comes to like Shona, Ndembele, all those things we just learned in history, I think African history, but never thought about it so much. Okay, wow. But it's interesting the fact that like I think we should look for a language, like an African language where like all of us can just speak, because it's so unfortunate that like apart from English, we cannot communicate. I cannot communicate with somebody from Rwanda if I don't know English and they don't know English because they don't speak Swahili. Diamond says, where is Burundi? If you don't mind me asking, what is your race? Apologies if I'm not allowed to ask that question anymore. Okay, God, let me tell you right now, you can't ask people anything. We've become so sensitive to anything. But okay, let me wait until to see if they respond. Now this is your moment, you guys. Burundi is in so is God. Let me not say things and then I start sound. I think Rwanda and Burundi are neighbors. I think so, and maybe they are part of. Is it Central Africa or Southern Africa? I don't know. God. But I don't want to say and be wrong, Let's wait and see. Samuel and Tony. Wow. Wallace Kavia says, how are you? I'm doing good, Wallace. I think I've seen you before on the channel. Thank you for coming back. How are you doing? When you tune in, like and subscribe. Tony says, but I was born and raised in Canada, so I really don't speak it, and my dad spent most of uh, adult and elementary years in US, so that's what it is. Feel like a mix of everything. Okay, so you're Canadian, because I think people kind of like, the fact. Okay, if I move from one, let's say I move from here to the UK right now, okay, as a 23-year-old woman, okay, and then I get there, spend all my adult years there, I have a child, so that the child can say, I'm from Kenya, but literally they are more connected to that place than they are to, wow, I see that. Diamond says, I know I'm not a world traveler, but I thought I knew every country out there. Okay, let me tell you, this places. Tony says Burundi is East African country. Oh, is it an East African country? But if it wasn't obvious, let me tell you, you sound white in your comments. Okay, you sound white, Tony. Wow, you're black. It's not obvious. Okay. Actually, you know what? There's a topic yesterday that I wanted to talk about. I've been wanting to talk about black people. Initially on the channel, I was talking about black people, Africa, and stuff like that. And then because of course right now I have regulars. I was like, is so and so white, and most of the people that I was talking, maybe I was thinking about when thinking about the topic, because most of the time I think about you guys, would you relate to this topic? And then I'm like, so and so, and Tony was part of the people that I said, oh, that he's white. Okay, you actually sound white the way you type. You don't have that necessity to type like a black person. Guys, welcome to the live. Subscribe. My name is Wamboy. Wallace Kabia says to Tony, umeze gute. Wow, you guys. Oh, umeze gute. Okay, the phone is translating for me. How are you? Umeze gute. Where? How are you? Tony says, I'm fine. Oura konze. Pardon my bad Kirundi. Oh, is it called Kirundi? Oh, wow. Oh, ndameza. Oh, ndameze. I'm fine. Ndameze neza. Aura konze. Pardon my bad Kiburundi. God. Okay, I think this will be a Rwandese channel finally. Dema says, it wasn't obvious. So, in my mind, all Canadians are white and all Africans are black. Imagine my surprise when I first met my white African. When I first met white African, okay, South African, I'm constantly learning about this planet I live on. Okay, let me tell you, and I'm not even pretending, I actually didn't know there was black people in the US. Okay, I didn't know until I started watching Tyler Perry movies. And I'm like, okay, these people, they literally look like Africans in my eyes, okay? They literally look like Africans. But then I'm like, this type of English? No. And that's how that's how I learned about Black Americans. But it's not like now, it would have been like, I was still in high school. But I didn't know that there's black people in the US. Just the same way Dimas is saying that he didn't know there's black people in Canada. I think there is, but I think most of them, not like the way in the US, these black people have been there for decades. Okay, remember, I don't want to be giving wrong impression here, and then you say that like I pretend like I know everything. Okay, I think most people in like you, maybe Canada, UK, maybe there is natives, black people who've been there for years. But yeah, personally, I knew there's black people in Canada. Anyways, okay, moving on. I met my first white African. Okay, you know, it's surprising. It's surprising. Even actually, I knew in South Africa there was like white South Africans, but I was just like, they're just there for a minute and they're gonna be going just to learn that they are citizens of that country and they're gonna be there as far as they wanna be there. It was just surprising. Okay, so you guys, we did have so much fun on here. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope I'm not closing for somebody. Tony says, I feel like everyone needs a history update right now because I'm confused on how you guys didn't know all of that. Okay, God. Okay, but first of all, I am kind okay, I need an update. I need an update, but like I think people from the US actually need the update even more because I feel like people in the US are usually so ignorant when it comes to history. It's like, you know, they were surprised the other day when like we had this guy, what is his name, Aisha Speed, traveling Africa. I saw black Americans coming out and crying, oh my God, he's finally showing up that Africa, like he's giving those Africans a chance to be seen. He's literally marketing the continent. And also some of the other things that they say that were ignorant. God, there's skyscrapers in Africa. There's roads in Africa. Wow, it's beautiful. It's not what we were told. And I'm like, you know what? Just shut up. Okay? Then says, I knew there were black people in Canada, but there are black people who moved to Canada. They are not Canadians. Tony is my first black Canadian. Okay? Oh, me too. Me too. I know there's black people in Canada, but black people who move to Canada, okay? Oh, UK will even surprise you more. Like there's, but of course it won't surprise you because the history with colonization. Okay, now I can do my black topics on here, but I not really. Yeah. Now I kind of feel like I can do it. I can do it. Okay. Wow, what a full circle moment. My Burundians. Okay. I hope I'm not closing for somebody wants to start someday. Okay. Umeze gute. Oh, ndameze neza. Wow. Ndagukunda. Lord, have mercy on your people. Okay, so you guys, I keep saying this. We were gonna do 2 hours, but the fact that I started closing my mind at 1 hour 30 minutes, I just literally have to go. So you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for always showing up. So I'm gonna see you guys on Monday. Hopefully next week we are gonna be doing amazing things. Hopefully we will do the 48 hours show next week. I really don't know the date, but hopefully we will do it. So guys, remember to keep interacting with my content for absolutely no reason. Leave a comment for absolutely no reason, okay? Whenever you are bored, and okay. Wallace says, I'll teach you Kirundi. Oh, teach me. Okay, you know what? You can even teach me 1 word per day. But you know what? You might confuse me when it comes because I'm still learning German. But you know what? Every day teach me 1 word. Okay? Teach me 1 word every day. But you know what? Your name Kabia sounds Kenyan. Okay, your name sounds Kenyan, like Kabia. Lynn Hendrick says, how are you? I'm doing good, Lynn. How are you? Thank you for coming back. How have you been? Nema says, no, we are not done. Okay. I might bring out my... Oh, you know what? I had a chocolate here. Nobody said goodbye and then she can't leave. Okay. I see Lynn and some other people showed up. Let me... Okay, Wallace, you can continue teaching me your Kirundi. Kirundi, it just sounds like Kirundi, Burundi. Wow, today I look so shaggy. God, sorry for being so unkept. But it's not unkempt, it's just being black, like the hair. I don't know. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please like. Oh wow, yesterday I said that I'm gonna be sticking this. Okay, I said goodbye like like 5 times. Honestly, I like the hair out personally. Oh, okay. Okay, I have heard that, let me tell you, when you see a black person near you and like compliment their hair, because I think we've been made to feel like our hair is not supposed to be the way it is, like we're supposed to silk press it, straighten it, you know. I think it's just conditioned into us, like now you don't think like you're good enough, like the hair is good enough. Oh. Um, and your braids are out. Yeah, I undid them. Let's like the live, share the love, subscribe. So, Lynn from Netherlands. Yeah. You know what? I like this chocolate. I was waiting for somebody to teach me Kirundi here. What happened? Kirundi. Eating chocolate. Lynn says, how you know? How you know? God, I don't know what you mean. Diamond says, I'd like to thank Wamboy, Tony, and everyone else who helped to open my eyes a bit further to our world. It is shameful not to really know where people are in this day and age. Okay? Okay. God, I was watching this creator, I won't mention his name. I was watching somebody who visited Cologne, Panama. Do you guys know about Panama? Is it Panama or Panama? Whatever. Depends with your primary school teacher or whatever. So, Cologne, Panama is just black people, full black people, blacker than I am. Okay. Oh, Wallace asked, "What do you do? Work? What's your job?" Okay, let me first of all. Okay, I'm gonna answer that, but so this person was videoing being in Cologne, Panama. Okay, so they were videoing that, and it's like it was just black people, and I'm like, it was just black people, and I'm like, wow, where is all this ignorance? And there have been black people there who've been there for decades, like they've been there for a long time. The same thing with Brazil. There are black people where like that's where they know, like they don't know nothing else. They don't know African dialects, nothing. So Tony says, Wallace asks, what do you do? You know me, I what are you doing? No, he said, what are you doing? Let me look. I'll teach you Kirundi. Let me look at the laptop. Orakora ike. Ooh, orakora ike. God. Orakora ike. That's, the font translated. Oh, orakora ike. What do I do for a living? God. At the moment, I don't do nothing. I just sit back and relax. At the moment, I'm trying to work on this YouTube stuff. That's it. Just being honest. Lynn says, what's happening the last time when you edit your stream? Oh, what was happening the last time when you ended your live? I was not feeling good. I was sick. Okay, not literally sick. Like there were a lot of things that were going on. Yeah, but I apologize for leaving you guys hanging. Wow, orakora ikem. God, why does that sound like orakora ikem? I am just trying to make sense out of that. Okay, I think right here now we can learn Swahili, we can learn English. We can also learn how to speak Netherlands. Is it which language do people in Netherlands speak? Lean, if you don't mind. Which language do you guys in Netherlands speak? Netherlands. You know what happened? I was gonna end the stream, but we are already at 44 minutes. Why not an hour? Oh, okay. So we just don't get this often. Like, I like to be structured. Carlo Musi says they do speak Dutch. Okay. Wow. But it's not the same Dutch. Like, it's not like okay, or I see, because like Switzerland they speak Dutch but not like the same one with German. Wow. Dutch. We need to have one language. Like, we already have English, but we need to like ban all the other languages and just speak one language. Don't you think life would be so much easier? What's your mother tongue? My mother tongue is Kikuyu. It's a Bantu language here in Kenya. Kikuyu. Diamond says, I live around the entertainment industry. YouTubing is no different. This is a full-time job. If you want to succeed, you have to invest yourself and your time. Let me tell you, right now, because I'm also doing other things like learning how to braid. Hey, by the time, I wake up, of course, breakfast and stuff. So I go to the salon. So, which is literally recent. I go to the salon. By the time I'm back, I'm supposed to be preparing for the show. Like, I even don't have time. Which means to build something like this, you literally have to have free time. You have to have free time. I think you can't build a platform, or even I think I see what singers normally say. You can't be that without like without, what is it called, patience. You have to be patient, because imagine I have been showing up here for like almost especially for the live now, almost 2 months or 3 months, 2 months. Okay, I've been showing up here every time, every day, and it doesn't mean that it's working out. It doesn't mean I'm not gaining anything at the moment. I'm just doing it because I want to. Okay, so yeah, I think you have to sacrifice at some point to build something that's worth. Okay, in the long run, I do believe that I'll get there, but you have to sacrifice. Okay, guys, welcome to the live. My name is Wamboy. Thank you so much for tuning in. Carlos Musi says Dutch, Netherlands, and Holland is the same. Okay. Oh, Diama says, like the live, share the love, sub the queen. Thank you so much, you guys, for the liking, the subscribing. Like, and become a regular. Okay, I am liking it so much that like people are coming back, which means I'm doing something. Wallace Kabia says, are you able to speak Kikuyu well? Yeah. I am able to speak Kikuyu well. I grew up in the village, like. And also this whole thing of pretending as if you don't know your mother tongue doesn't work for me. It's like I just don't have to pretend like I only speak in English for me to please you all. Especially if you grew up in your country. I think you have to know your mother tongue. Hima Touma says, I have a question. Ask the question. Okay, I don't know, for African countries we have that whole thing of like pretending to pretending to not know our languages, maybe because we want to be seen as like civilized English and stuff. There's so many things that as Black people we need to unlearn. First of all, we need to learn how to love ourselves. We now need to learn how to love our hair, and another thing, we need to learn how to love and appreciate our languages. Because at the end of the day, speaking English doesn't prove that you're intelligent. It's just another language. Yeah. Hima Tuoma says, are you being paid on YouTube? Not yet. I'm not monetized. Yeah, which is why you guys should subscribe. Okay, I'm not monetized. I think they normally monetize you when you get to like, I think 1,000 or something. And you have to have a specific number of watch hours. So yeah. Mm. Mm. Wow. Hence the false perception and misunderstanding. I know, as black people, we are not being disrespected because uh, we are not being disrespected because okay, I think we do we do teach people how to treat us. Okay, we do teach people how to treat us. We teach people how what is acceptable to us, and because we have taught other races that, like, okay, you know what, our hair is not good, we don't like ourselves, black is not beautiful, we are even bleaching our skins so that we can look whiter. The way we speak, we kind of like, for some reason, we like, oh, I don't think my comments are showing. Can you try type again? Yeah, hence the false perception and misunderstanding. I only read that, I only got that. Hence the false perception and misunderstanding. Okay, I think as black people, we need to literally love ourselves, and that's something that I've worked on, especially after I moved out and started living alone. I And right now, like, you're not gonna come here and tell me to apply this so that I can get rid of my acne. No, no, don't come here and tell me do this, do that. No, because you have to realize, as a black person, that's different. Okay, as a black person, that's different. Like, we have to learn how to love ourselves. We have to start our own skincare. We have to look for products which are friendly for our skin. We have to learn how to love our culture, ourselves, our yeah. Oh, can you please maybe type again whatever you intended to? It didn't come through. Maybe make sure you highlight and copy before sending. Hima to Touma says, you speak fluently. Are you in Kenya really? Yeah, I speak fluently. I think the reason why I speak fluently, my partner is American, so we always use English at home. Like, we use English at home. So okay, I was fluent even before that. Like, I've always been a fluent person. um I like reading books, also, not to mention all the years of schooling and stuff. So yeah. And I think the other reason, there another way to be fluent in English, stop hanging around with people who always speak in the mother tongue. Not to say that, like, they shouldn't speak, but, like, if you want to be fluent, you have to be around people who will who will speak the language that you're intending to learn. Like, right now I'm learning German. If I see people who are speaking German, that's where I'm gonna be, so that you can be able to practice the speaking. Diama says, speaking English doesn't mean intelligence. Speaking multiple languages does. I only speak English, but have always admired those who speak several languages. Okay, for example, like me, I speak English, I speak Kikuyu, I speak Swahili, I speak some other Kenyan languages, although not fluently. And also, right now, I'm almost quarter halfway in learning German. Okay, so the whole thing of, like, you learn other languages and assume or pretend as if you don't know your local language is just nonsense. um Damas to Tony says, YouTube is bad about that. All you need is one word they don't like and nothing gets posted without knowing why. For long post, copy just in case. Okay, yeah, we are actually waiting. We will be waiting for your comment because we want to read. Yeah, maybe now I'm feeling motivated to, like, do a topic about black people, because initially that was the purpose of starting the channel, but sometimes you gotta do things to help the channel grow. uh, yeah, because I think we have so many people claiming that they are doing content about, like, black people, but it's always like, I got racially profiled here and there. But are we talking about how can we be able to enhance our confidence? How can we be able to support each other as Black people? How can we be able to unite? Okay, how can we unite as African countries? How can we do that? You know, we never asked ourselves those questions. Okay, wow, funny enough, I actually today didn't think that I would do 2 hours, but I did it because you guys stayed. Thank you. Okay. Ooh. On the day that you were born. Which song can I sing? Jamaican Farewell. Yeah, it's not showing up. All good though. Oh God. I don't know. Why does this happen? Why does this happen? Okay. But I know maybe there's a word that they're not liking. Oh, oh, but that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. So, we still have 4 minutes. Diamond says, I'd enjoy one regarding Black people, but I'll probably end up embarrassing myself with dumb questions. But dumb questions grow smart people. Okay. What race are you, Dimas? Are you Black? Okay, because will you be asking dumb questions because you're white? Okay, no, but there's not dumb questions. If you don't know, you don't know. Like, you can pretend you know something that you don't. Okay, so actually, you know what? Maybe I'll look for. There's so many things actually naturally, things that I just think about when I'm sitting down. Um, the struggle when it comes to accepting yourself as a Black person, you know, and also colorism. I don't know, maybe I can ask Tony now, is there colorism in Canada, like among us Black people, where, like, especially when it comes to females, where where uh, people prefer you to be light skin rather than dark skin? So do you have, I hope that I hope if you type something it shows up Black American. Okay, okay, but how would you embarrass yourself by asking questions? Okay, so don't you have the same experiences like other Black people? Okay, I don't know, I would like to know if there's colorism in Canada. I thought Dimas was white for a second. Lol. Okay. He speaks white. Okay, he speaks white. I have always had the impression that he's Black. I think he said before that he's Black American. So, yeah, Black American. Wow. Um, no, I'll be asking dumb questions because you think that I would have known or should have known. Okay, should have known because you're Black. Okay, so is there colorism in Canada, Tony? As we wind up. Oh no, because I asked him before and he didn't answer. Oh, is he ashamed of his Blackness? Do you want to be low-key white? Are you ashamed of being Black? Okay, you know, maybe I should change the channel name to Black Unapologetically. Diamonds, it's like not considering that Tony was Black and just assuming because he's Canadian that he wasn't. Me too. You know, you also got me on that one. Like, I honestly thought that you were white. Okay, guys, welcome to the live. My name is Omboy. Good to see you all. Kindly like, subscribe, get yourself around the table. Karuhanga Samuel says hi. Hi Karuhanga. Mohamedi Abdallah says hi. Hi to you, Mohamedi. Welcome to the live. How are you doing? Diamond says no, I didn't see the questions. Okay. Mohamedi Abdallah says, hey, please stand up and so turn around. Okay, we are respectful over here. Okay, we are respectful over here, and I wouldn't turn around if that wasn't the plan when I started the video. Sorry. Okay. So, but why do you guys do that? Like, see a random person, somebody that you really don't know, and you're like, turn around. Like, what? You're so beautiful. Okay, thank you. There's no dumb questions because everyone benefits. So I'm open to every question. Thank you. Tony, is the question not coming to you? Is there colorism in Canada amongst black people, where people prefer lighter skin black people? That's the question. That's the answer that we are waiting for to close up. Okay. Wow, we already now at 2 hours. But okay, let me wait for the answer. Hopefully you will be able to type it. Yeah. Is there colorism in Canada? Okay, because in Africa or in Kenya, for example, God, there is huge colorism issue. Actually, most women are being forced to like bleach their skins to be appealing to men. Okay, no, not you guys, just a certain type of boy. Okay, not you guys, just a certain type of boy. I really don't know if I understand it, but that's okay. Oh God. Is Tony able to type? Is there colorism in Canada? That's the question that I asked you, Tony. And we're actually winding up. Thank you guys for hanging out with me for 2. God, I almost kicked there. Wow, what? Sorry. Oh God, Tony is not able to type. So you guys, thank you so much for watching. So until Monday, on Monday I'm gonna be posting shorts during the weekend or something. Look for some time to like watch and leave a comment even if you're not enjoying. Selfish me, self-centered. Okay, so you guys have a good day. Okay, Tony says yes, there is over here. I think colorism is global issue. It's definitely an issue, especially for people that descend from countries that have yes, there is over here. I think colorism is global issue. It's definitely an issue, especially okay. Oh, okay. Oh, you can keep typing. You can keep typing. I'm here for you. Wallace Kabia says yeah, I'm giving you a second. Wallace Kavia says, where are the Burundians? They are in the building. Diamond says, one boy, you said, why do you guys do that? It's not you guys, it's some children. Oh, okay. Okay, just some nonsense. Okay, you even don't know me and like, oh, turn around. Am I your woman? Shame on you. Is the audacity, because anytime that I go into people's lives, I just sit there I just sit there respectful. If I'm not going to be talking about something constructive, just go look for a woman to tell her to turn around. Okay, I'm giving you a second. Take your time, not in a hurry. Thank you so much, you guys, for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. Okay. Divers to Tony, hurry up, but don't rush. Be quick, but take your time. Wow. Okay. Ooh, the person who is looking for Wallace is looking for Burundians. They are in here. You just subscribe. You'll be meeting in the chats. Burundians and Rwandese. I want to be Rwandese. I want to, I want to be able to like visit some African countries because I would like to see how different people live. Maybe that will be there for me sometime. Like the live, share the love, sub the queen. Hujambo from Kenya. Let me see Jamaican. Let me sing Jamaican farewell. Oh, okay. Yeah, let me sing Jamaican farewell. It's been a minute before I sang on the channel. It's a good way to end the video, anyways. Down the way when the nights are gay and the sunshine daily on the mountain top. I took a trip on a sailing ship. When I reached Jamaica, I made a stop, but I'm sad to say I'm on my way. Won't be back for many a day. My heart is down, my head is spinning around. I had to leave a little girl in Kingston Town. Sounds of laughter everywhere, and the dancing girls swing to and from. I must declare my heart is there, though I've been from Maine to Mexico. But I'm sad to say I'm on my way. Won't be back for many a day. My heart is down, my head is spinning around. I had to leave a little girl in Kingston Town. Down at the market you can hear ladies cry out along their heads they bear. Akira is so fish on ice and the rum is good any time of year. But I'm sad to say I'm on my way. Won't be back for many a day. My heart is down, my head is spinning around. I had to leave a little girl in Kingston Town. Oh my god, it's not showing. What? Ridiculous. Try again. Did you copy like we told you? Nimrodi says, I will warmly welcome you to my salon tomorrow, baby girl. Okay, no, I don't need to go to the salon. I just did my hair. It needs to breathe. Needs to breathe. Domingos Luciano Francisco. Hi, you came back. Welcome to the live. I love your voice. Thank you. Nimrodi says, one boy is very well. Okay. Thank you. Oh my god, Donny. Had you copied it? Can you try to remove all the censored words? Like if you're using color, don't use color. If you're using black, if you're using racism, remove all those. Wow, but YouTube is literally so sensitive. It's like a sensitive person. So sensitive with everything. Okay, I do understand like we are supposed to be having rules. But it's like wow. God. I almost forgot that we are still live. I was going to lift my legs up. Ooh, wow. Do we still wait or what happens? God, now that's bad. Why? Why? Or maybe the comment just didn't show up on my end. Did it show up on your end, Diamas? Woo! And I really wanted to read that. Da da da. Guys, if you have somewhere to go, like you can just leave at your own pleasure. Thank you for tuning in. So I'm waiting for Tony because whatever he's typing is important to me. Okay. God, what a disappointment. Okay, you're typing all those hours and it's not showing up. Okay, okay, well, we are waiting. I'll sing this time. I'll sing. And no, it didn't. It did not. Okay? It didn't. Uh-huh. Let me sing. Let me sing Piano Man. God, how do you start Piano Man? Okay. It's 9 o'clock on a Saturday. The regular crowd shuffles in. There's an old man sitting next to me, making love to his tonic engine. He says, son, can you play me a memory? I'm not really sure how it goes, but it's sad and sweet, and I knew it complete when I wore a younger man's clothes. Oh, la la la, di da da, la la di da da da. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody. You got us feeling alright. Finally, he showed up. Every black country that had a tough history, I'll say that since YouTube is bugging, uh, guess side effects of their fruit, which is color. So I truly see it as a global, but it's getting worse, unfortunately. Every black country that had a tough, okay, let me read what you had sent before and like try to connect. Yes, there is over here. Yes, there is over here. I think colorism is global issue. It's definitely an issue, especially for people that descend from countries that have every black country that had a tough history. I'll say that since YouTube is bugging, yes, uh, had a tough history. Oh, okay, which means racism. Guess the side effects of their fruit, which is color. So I truly see it as a global, but it's getting worse, unfortunately. Okay. Yeah. I think that's it, and it's literally unfortunate. I think there's nothing we can do, but like the way black people are literally unappreciated, and I don't know why can't you type, but I can say it. Whenever I say this thing, I keep waiting for YouTube to warn me. They don't warn me. Okay. When all the countries we've seen like what black people have been able to build in the US, like uh their sweat, blood, tears have gone into building that country, but do they get acknowledged when it comes to like who built the country? No. Okay. So which means like at the end of the day, people don't see your value. If you end up not seeing your own value, then I think you are lost. Okay, Tony says, but most black people love themselves, so it's not a grave issue right now over here. Okay. I think more people are waking up, especially even out here in Africa. In Africa, most people don't usually care about like feelings, or you're not supposed to be feeling stuff and stuff. But I think right now we are getting aware of like we are trying to heal from everything that has happened. Okay, so guys, so I think wow, finally at least you got that out. We are literally learning how to deal with the typing stuff. There's words that you can't use. Diamond says to Tony, good job breaking the code. Okay, good job. Congratulations to him. Finally, he's learning some of the words that you can use. Okay, wow. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for the whole week. So I'm gonna see you guys on Monday. Make sure you work on yourself, then you work on your job. Make sure you bet on yourself. And until next time, bye bye. See you guys on Monday and interact with my videos, okay? Bye bye. Now for sure, for serious, because it's been like a joke, okay?